This time I am in Brussels and I'm gonna test the kit lens, the 14-42mm electronic zoom kit lens, and see how that performs when doing some travel photography. Stick around and find out how the kit lens performs. And before we get out to the city of Brussels, please consider to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you get notified when there is a new video online. My channel is all about you getting to be a better photographer. And remember, I post 2 videos a week, on Tuesdays and on Fridays. But let's go! Olympus has 2 kit lenses on its lineup. I have the pancake version here, and this one is for my liking a little bit better because it's a lot smaller than the other one. And when you turn it off, you can see how it becomes bigger, and now it's ready for image making. And when you turn it off, it's really small and you can easily have a small camera with you. And remember, when you turn on the camera, it's always on 14mm. Unfortunately, I think the user should be able to change that so that you could set it, for example, it always starts at 42 if you wanted to, or 25 or whatever. But it's always on 14mm. And another big difference from the other kit zoom lens is that this is an electronic zoom lens. When you turn this knob, you change the focal length from 14 to 42mm. And I personally don't like the electronic zoom when doing photography, but for video it's a very, very good feature. As you can see from this video where I'm electronically zooming closer to the guild houses here in Berlin, Brussels. I'm getting mixed with where I am. And the zoom speed can be adjusted, and it can be adjusted for photography and for video separately. You have the slow, and then you have the normal, and you have fast speed. As I already mentioned, the lens is quite small. It's only 22.5mm long, and it only weighs 93 grams, and the filter size is 37mm. And it's a very, very handy lens to have when you're traveling. It's really small. There's also an electronic lens cap which opens up when you turn on the camera, and that's really handy because then you have it always on when you put it back in your bag, because it turns off when you switch off the camera. So there's no problem with having the lens in your bag without the lens hood, or the lens cap actually. And speaking of the lens hood, this camera does not come with the lens hood. And I don't know if you can find a lens hood that is that small with 37mm filter thread. As I've mentioned already, the focal length is 14 to 42mm, and it's very, very convenient for travel and casual shooting. But the only problem, or the biggest problem with the lens, is that it's not very fast. The focal length when having it on 14mm is 3.5, and at 42mm it's 5.6. So in some, let's say that we have some dark conditions like I had yesterday when I visited the train world, which is a big train museum here in Belgium or here in Brussels, and it was really dark in there, and I was in a bit of a trouble with the not so fast lens. To be honest, I really wanted to or needed to have a 1.2 lens, so I was in a bit of a trouble. But let's look at some images that I took there. Some of the shutter speeds were really, really long, several seconds, so I had to lean the camera against the wall, against the railing. Even though I had the M5 Mark II, which has a pretty good image stabilizer, but still several seconds with that camera is not possible. It's really hard to get a sharp image, and I wasn't able to use a tripod in those images, so I had to do creative things to get images sharp. Do you use the kit lens? And what kind of experiences you have had it? Please let me know down in the comments below. And with the small aperture, it's really hard to make the background blur. But here are two images that I was making yesterday. The other one is made with 12mm 3.5. I mean, I always say 12, it's 14 millimeters. And the other one is made with 42mm f5.6. So if you focus really close, then you are able to get some kind of a background blur, and the closest focusing distance is only 20 centimeters. So it could be used as a semi-macro lens too. You can get decent close-ups with it. Did you know that there are actually 3 pissing statues in Brussels? You got the mannequin piss behind me, then you got the Jeannequin piss, and my personal favorite, the Zinnequin piss. The image quality is quite good. Of course, it's not the same level as the M.Zuiko Pro lenses. There is some image distortion and vignetting a bit, but stopping down a notch takes care of the vignetting, and you can get rid of the distortion when using Lightroom. It will automatically correct it. And if you use the Olympus Workspace image editing program, then you have to tick this box on so that you can get rid of the distortion. And now the conclusion of this lens. First, what I liked about it, it's small and light, it's very easy to use, and in video the the electronic zoom is really great. And as it's so small, it fits into your bag really easily. But then, what are the downside of the lens? Well, first thing is it's not very fast. That's the first thing. You most likely will need a faster lens after shooting a few trips, because I've been here a couple of days and already would have liked to have a faster lens with me, because that's the only lens that I have on me today. And then also the image quality, it's good enough for most things, but as I said, it's not the pro lens quality. Of course it's not, because it's not a pro lens. And then of course it does not come with the lens hood, which I think is very essential, but you probably can get. I didn't check if you can get one, but I will put the link in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video and you came along to a walk in Brussels with me, and bye for now. Thanks for watching.